Transport Department is being called upon to investigate why more than 20 trucks were attacked on Thursday night. It's alleged suspects in different cars forced the trucks to slow down before petrol bombing them. The party says this is an attack on the economy. For more on this, I'm joined by Patrick O'Leary from FleetWatch Truck magazine. Thank you very much, Mr. O'Leary, for your time this Saturday afternoon. So we've heard the opinion of opposition parties, but what does the industry think about these attacks? Are they meticulously planned or merely opportunistic criminal elements?
The recent attack on 20 trucks was meticulously planned, because the attack started all around on 4 different roads, major roads, around about 10:15. Now that means that there was planning behind it. There have in the past been random attacks. It's also been organized attacks, which actually started in 2018 at Moy River. And that resulted in something like 30 trucks being destroyed. But there are random attacks. But who did this on I think it was Thursday night? We don't know. There was no warning. It came totally out of surprise. It caught everybody surprised. Somebody out there has some hidden agenda, and it's not about foreign drivers anymore. I don't believe that.
So that was going to be my next question, is whether you thought that this was in any way related to the xenophobia claimed in the past. A lot of truck drivers have in the past and in the recent past been saying, why are foreign nationals being given jobs in such large numbers in the trucking industry? If you do not think that's the case, what could possibly be some of the other hidden agendas behind these attacks?
I'm actually not sure. It's a mystery to all of us. You know, the trucking industry, there have been, and it's not up to the trucking industry to decide this. The trucking industry is the wheels of the economy. The trucking industry is the only wheels running at the moment, keeping this economy going. And that's what they've got to do, and that's hard enough. They can't be detectives and investigators. This is up to the police, and I reckon it needs the highest ministerial intervention. And those ministers need a big boot, because they have had countless meetings since 2018, when the Moy River attack started. We have seen the Minister of Home Affairs, Minister of Transport, Minister of Labour, all of them getting together, holding fancy press conferences, and the attacks continue to go on. So obviously this needs higher intervention. And if people think that 20 trucks destroyed, wait until the transporters, and I promise you, honey, it's getting close to that. They are getting tired. The truck drivers are scared. Wait till they stop the trucks, and 20 trucks, the destruction of 20 trucks will be nothing compared to the destruction of this economy. The guys are tired of this, of lack of action, and there's a call for action now. The transporters, the truck drivers are up to their eyeballs with this. We can't investigate what the agenda is. That's up to the cops, so let the cops do their job. And there's a lot of the transport industry at the moment is on its own. They don't feel the government is there. They've been hit from all sides. Hijacking has gone through the roof. Drivers cannot stop on the side of the road anymore for fear of being mugged. There was a driver killed last year who stopped for a rest, and his truck was petrol bombed. So they're under siege, and they are serving the economy.
Absolutely.
It's the only wheels that are running this economy. So we call in on the highest level of intervention from Cyril Ramaphosa. Mr. Ramaphosa, you need to actually tackle this and direct it and step up to the plate, because this country is being destroyed. Because once the trucking industry is destroyed, this country is destroyed.
I hear what you're saying about the fact that the trucking industry cannot investigate from inside. We need the police and the proper authorities to do the investigation externally. But I want to ask you about another possible motive. Inside sources say that in the past, such attacks have been used prior to industrial action as a way to intimidate or force role players to the negotiation table. Do you think that's a possibility?
I think so, yes. And, you know, this again, we've heard from unions, even the cops who were going to stage that Galuli's protest, that comes from the cops themselves. They say, unless you burn tires and make a noise, the government's not going to sit down around the table and talk to you. So there is an organization called the All Truck Drivers Foundation. They have called, no, they haven't. There's a social note, a note that's going around on social media calling for a shutdown over 3 days next week. Now, there's no organization attached to that note. It's been circulated around. But in answer to your question, there's a typical example. People are reacting to that note. They don't know who they're reacting to. They're assuming it's the ATDF. But the ATDF have said that the government had meetings with them and never got back to them. The Minister of Transport never got back to them. It's time to sit around the table and take it seriously. And honey, just if I may put in something there, time for the government, and please, I'm knocking government here. Yeah, but they deserve to be knocked on this. Sorry. They must take this trucking industry seriously, and they must give it more attention. It is vital to this economy. And it is, you saw in level 5, when everything was locked down, the ones that were bringing the food to the things were the trucks, taking the oxygen to the hospitals. It's the trucks. It's always been a Cinderella in this government's eyes, and even pre-1994 government's eyes. It's a Cinderella, and yet it's vital. So they've got to take it seriously. There are numerous problems facing this industry that they cannot solve. It needs higher intervention, and I urge the ministers to actually get off your buns and start taking this industry seriously.
Well, we hear
and we are there to help.
We hear you loud and clear. Patrick O'Leary from FleetWatch Truck Magazine, an emotional plea there to the authorities to get involved, have the necessary conversations and resolve the issues in the interest of picking up the economy.